Hello! Welcome back to Writing Sweet Romance. Okay, we've read some romance novels or novellas, and we've explored the do's and don'ts and the differences between non sex romance subgenres. And now we're talking about essentials of a story. First up, we'll talk about tropes. Um, we looked at a few sweet romance tropes, also known as hooks, that are common when we explored the differences between all the non sex romance subgenres of inspirational, clean and wholesome, and sweet romance. But let's dig a little bit deeper now that we're talking about the genre and reader expectations. So, first up, what are tropes? Tropes are commonly used themes or devices in stories that give the reader an understanding of what to expect. Many can be considered cliches or overused, but readers actually like that. They love the known as much as the unknown. They want to see if this author writes billionaire or cowboy or parent teacher like their other favorite authors. Next, please know that a trope doesn't substitute for a well developed plot or a one dimensional character. It just provides for an overarching theme and expectation. For example, if your hero starts out as a police officer and the heroine needs help or rescuing, if he doesn't, then you've broken the uniformed hero trope. He needs to help her. Third, tropes of your story will also act as keywords that you will input when you upload your story to a platform like Amazon or Barnes and Noble, so definitely keep that in mind. For instance, let's look at a few sweet romances and see if we can distinguish what the tropes are off of the titles and blurb, which is the description of the story. Okay, let me change screens here. Okay. Pause, stop share. There we are. Hi. And then starting share again. Share screen. And let's go with this one right here. Okay, we're going to be using this story and two others as examples in this particular lesson. So this one right here, this is a story that I've read, and I actually love this Sweetwater Falls series from Alana Johnson. So we're going to take a look at this one. Let's look at the title first. Cross Cowboy, a Cooper Brothers novel. So, looking at that, what do we get here? Cross cowboy. Now, cross could mean a lot of different things, don't you think? So maybe it could mean one who has a burden, maybe, or it can also mean one who's a little grumpy. So we've got that right there, some type of emotionalism to or emotional quality to the cowboy. And then we have cowboy, and we know that that's a trope, right? And then next we have a Cooper Brothers novel. Brothers. That's actually a trope too. We'll come to find out some of those. Sweetwater Falls Farm. Where do you find most farms? Small towns. So we're looking at that as well. All right. Cover looks great. Look at that. That's so really cool. All right, let's go on to the next one. Right there, Moose Be Love, a small town contemporary romance, a Sunset Ridge sweet romance book. Okay, so Moose Be Love. Moose. It's got to have some type of animal in it, obviously. Even that cover. There's a moose on the cover. There's got to be a moose in there. A small town contemporary romance. Well, they kind of just spell it out there for you. It's set in a small town. A Sunset Ridge sweet romance book. Sunset Ridge, doesn't that sound? A ridge usually indicates mountains right here on the cover. There's some mountains. So maybe this has mountains in it, which would be a location, which could also be a trope. Next, we have her big fat dreamy billionaire ex. Clean Billionaire Romance Series Book 4 from Victorine Leesky. So I love this series as well. It's a great clean billionaire romance series. Her big fat dreamy billionaire. One, billionaire. We know he's got money. Obviously, I mean, look at him. He looks like he is loaded, right? And then also, I'm thinking that it's probably set in something that's coastal or island, maybe. So, because you see the water back there, obviously. So, location. You've got that right there on the cover. Clean Billionaire Romance. So, in the title, we don't have a ton except for we know that he's a dreamy billionaire, which is a good start, right? Okay, so let's go back to our other. Alrighty, let me share that one. Okay, so we demonstrated that. All right, let's get back to examining specific tropes that are the most often used in sweet romance. I've divided the most commonly used tropes into 3 categories. But since there are 73 of them, exploring all of them would take a very long time. So I invite you to take a look at all of them in the document that's called 73 Sweet Romance Tropes, and that is in your workbook. But let's take a look at a few of them. All right. And I'm going to pull that up real quick like. 73. All right, I've got the document here. Let's go over a few of them. I will screen share that now. Okay, right there. All right, so this is what we're looking at. 73 sweet romance tropes. First, like I said, I've split it into 3 different categories. I have occupations right here, occupations, and then we also have behaviors. Then we also have down here, feelings is the last one. Feelings right here. So let's go over a couple in each category and then you can take a look at the rest of them. Cowboys. Okay, this is one of my favorites. I love a hardworking man. Let's just put it that way. So a rugged man only needs a horse and his dog, but he's going to meet someone else that he needs. Another one in the occupations category might be, oh, I wanted to touch on this one, politician. This one is a little rougher in sweet romance because not offending the reader will be tough with the current atmosphere that we're having. So I probably would suggest staying away from it. But if you do, perhaps use it as a past occupation like it says. Oh, another good one, rock star. This one seems to come in and out of favor with a lot of different genres of romance, so keep that in mind. One that I really enjoy writing is teacher and parent because forbidden or against the rules, this can end a career. And so you already have conflict set in there and a reason for them not to be together. And of course, when it involves children, it's all that more complicated. Next, under behaviors, age gap, great. A lot of people love seeing an older woman, a younger man, an older man, younger woman situation. Obviously, the man being older is favored in sweet romance, but however, it can work well either way in a later in life romance story, which remember, we looked at that category on Amazon earlier in the course. Next, let's do, oh, I love a good friends to lovers because I love knowing the characters already know about each other and they know the good, the bad, the ugly about someone. So that can actually be an issue between them. You know, they know that all of the wrong things that they've done in life. They'll probably have preconceived notions that that could come between them. And also, there's a fear in changing a relationship status that comes with making a relationship go from friends to lovers. Next one, let's take a look at, well, obviously, fish out of water and small town experience right here. The city girl goes to the small town, she integrates herself, and she learns to love the quaintness, the slow, the take everything easy, and the heart of the small town. That one's like used a lot in romance, in sweet romance. Lastly, um, let's do one we don't hear very often. Ooh, pen pals. So two people writing each other and finding out that they are a compatible fit. Maybe they meet in real life accidentally, like at college or on a cruise, perhaps, or because maybe they both, as pen pals, tell each other that they love cruises. Oh, I'd love to take a cruise. I'd love to take a cruise. That type of thing. It would make for a great surprise. Um, okay, and then let's go down to feelings. Feelings. All right. Again, forbidden love. Two people who aren't supposed to fall in love. So think of Romeo and Juliet, like it says. It can also be doctor and patient, lawyer client, all of those types of relationships that really are meant not to go beyond a helping situation. This push and pull of can I fall or can't I really is great conflict inside of a story. If they get caught, will there be consequences? Another one that I like is shy love. I love when the heroine goes from maybe a wallflower who has just a strong constitution, but she just hasn't reached out there yet. And he's the one that brings her out of her bubble and makes her blossom. That's always a beautiful love story. It can be very cathartic too to take a character and blossom their heart. Often the wallflower is noticed by the hot guy, and this happens in young adult romance as well. And you can write young adult sweet romance. That is perfectly fine. That's an excellent use of tropes and genre. All right. And then the last one, oh, tragic past. I like that one too. Whether their parents passed like in an accident or they were sick as a child, past issues become part of their motivations for living and possibly also a fear of theirs, like a fear of getting a disease again. You know, I feel bad, so I don't feel well. Is my disease back? That can be a very tense situation for a reader, and I've used that before, and it cemented the reader inside of the character and was very effective. I also, when people have sicknesses, oftentimes they have fears of losing people, and so you can show that through the tragic past as well. All right, so there you go. I've gone over just a few, I know, less than 10%, but you can take a look at them. I'm going to go on ahead and stop that share. All right, let's take us back to the original. Share screen. Right there. All right. So basically, there are more things you can do. Going back up in my notes. Hold on a second. I'm going to get those out of the way for me. All right. So lastly, feel free to use more than one trope and layer the tropes. Just as we saw when we explored those ones on Amazon, if you put more of them, you give more depth to your story. And each character can have multiples too. For example, the hero could be a cowboy from the occupations, as well as there being an age gap between him and the heroine of the story from the behavior section. So that was behaviors. And he's never recovered from losing his first love, scars from the past. And maybe she needs him to be her fake boyfriend for a wedding. Fake boyfriend, fiance, trope. See how the story is developing and could appeal to a bunch of different readers? If you need a little extra conflict in your story, look to the tropes to help add that. Add in a matchmaker, someone who wants the heroine to find love, like her grandma or her coworker or her best friend, but she's been burned too many times to believe that someone else can know what she needs in a partner. So there are lots of ways to add tropes in there. Let's go on ahead. Oh, there's the document 73 sweet romance tropes. Don't forget about that. And let's take a look at some. We already did that. Oh, take us a look at those books a little bit more in depth. Okay? All right. Thanks.